She said I was the one, until he showed up. I always thought betrayal would come with red flags, that there would be signs, warnings, a shift in tone, a change in the way she said my name. But there wasn't. Not with her. Her name was Liana. She had this laugh that could disarm any tension in a room, like a key that fit into everyone's lock. I met her during my second year at university, in a photography elective I almost didn't take. I was an engineering major. I had no business being there. But Liana, she made the entire semester unforgettable. We became a thing after only a few weeks. She'd make playlists for me. I'd walk her to every class even if mine was across campus. I remember one night in particular, it was raining hard. She forgot her umbrella, and I showed up outside her dorm soaked but grinning like an idiot, holding up 2 cups of hot chocolate. She kissed me without saying a word. That moment felt like the kind of thing people write poems about. I thought, this is it. This is what it feels like to find someone who chooses you back. I thought I was lucky. God, I thought I was lucky. But things don't fall apart all at once. They decay slowly, like a leak you ignore until the ceiling caves in. It started with her getting quiet when she texted, then laughing at things on her phone and not telling me what, then canceling plans, then saying she was just tired. And I wanted so badly to believe her. I chose to believe her, because to consider anything else, it would have meant admitting I was losing her. The first time I heard his name, it was casual. A guy from her media theory class, Eli. I asked, "Who's that?" She smiled. "Oh, just some guy in my group project. He's annoying." I remember laughing. You calling someone annoying is rich. She winked. Exactly. At first, I didn't think twice. I trusted her. I wanted to trust her. But it didn't take long for his name to come up more. Then he started showing up in her stories. A snap of their group in the library. A boomerang of coffee cups. A blurry pic of him doing something dumb with a laughing emoji. No tags. No context. But there. Always there. And I wasn't. The first time I asked her directly, I kept it light. "Seems like you and this Eli guy hang out a lot." She blinked. "What are you implying?" I raised my hands. "Nothing. Just saying. Seems like he's around a lot." She rolled her eyes. "Yeah, because we're in the same group." "Jesus, Owen. Don't be that guy." "That guy." She said it like a warning. Like she was drawing a line between secure boyfriend and jealous asshole, daring me to cross it. So I backed off. Like a coward. I told myself I was overthinking it, that I was projecting. But the unease never left. It grew, like a weight in my chest. Then came the party. Her roommate's birthday. She told me not to come. Said it was just girls, and pretty low-key. I believed her. Until I saw the photos the next day. Liana, holding a red Solo cup, laughing with her head thrown back. And right beside her, Eli, his hand on her waist. Her body angled toward his. I stared at the picture so long my phone went dark. Then I stared at the black screen. Then at the photo again. Zoomed in. Zoomed out. Like that would change what I was seeing. When I confronted her, she flipped it on me. It was just a photo. "Jesus, Owen, do you stalk my friends now?" I thought it was girls only. It was. Then some people showed up. "What? Am I supposed to kick people out if they have a penis?" Her sarcasm was sharper than usual. Tired. Like she'd practiced it. I told her the photo didn't look innocent. She told me to stop being paranoid. And again, I backed off. But from that moment on, something shifted. I started noticing everything. How fast she replied to him on her phone. How she smiled at texts but never said from who. How she started dressing differently, edgier, riskier, like she was trying to be seen. But never by me. I'd ask to hang out and she'd say she was busy. Then I'd see her tagged in someone's story, at a bar, at a movie, at someone's apartment. And still, I said nothing. Because saying something meant risking everything. And I wasn't ready to lose her. Even when I already had. I remember the exact moment I knew. Not suspected. Not doubted. Knew. It was a Thursday night. Cold. Quiet. The kind of night where you could hear your own heartbeat if you listened close enough. She said she was going to her cousin's for dinner. Didn't say which cousin. Didn't say where. But I trusted her. God, I still trusted her. Then, around midnight, I got a DM from an account I didn't recognize. No profile picture. No bio. It just said, "You deserve better." She left with him. And an address. My hands started shaking. Not because I believed it, not fully. But because some part of me did. I stared at it for a solid 10 minutes. My throat was dry. My chest was tight. But I told myself I was being stupid. Still, I went. I don't even know why I went. Maybe I needed proof. Maybe I needed to be wrong. It was a 3-story apartment building. I stood outside like a lunatic, trying to calm my breathing, staring up at the windows. One of them glowed faintly blue, flickering, like the light from a TV. Then I saw it. Her silhouette. 2 people. Close. Too close. His hand on her back. I couldn't see faces, but I knew. I knew it was her. I'd memorized the way she moved. I knew it was him. The height, the build, it matched every picture, every glimpse I'd seen. I didn't knock, didn't call, didn't scream. I just turned around and left. I didn't cry. Not yet. Instead, I walked for hours. Through empty streets. Past blinking traffic lights and dark storefronts. It was like the whole world had gone silent, holding its breath with me. She didn't message me that night. The next morning, she texted, "Hey babe, dinner was nice. Hope you slept okay too, Arts." I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I replied, "We need to talk." She said she was free that evening. Asked if everything was okay. I said yes. I lied. When she showed up, she was all smiles and soft perfume. She kissed me like nothing had happened. And I just stood there, frozen. A part of me still hoping I was wrong. That she'd deny it. That I'd misunderstood everything. That she'd tell me I was crazy and I'd believe her. But I didn't even have to say anything. Because when I looked at her, really looked at her, I saw it. Guilt. It was there, like a shadow behind her eyes. Flickering for just a second. Then gone. Still, I asked, "Where were you last night?" She blinked. "I told you. My cousin's." "Which cousin?" She hesitated. Just a flicker. Then, Emily. Emily lives in Jersey. She was in town. I nodded. "I went for a walk," I said. "Near 34th Street. Her face stiffened. "Oh, there's this building. 3 stories. Big window. I saw someone who looked like you." She laughed, but it cracked. "What are you saying?" I stared at her. "You know what I'm saying." And in that moment, the mask cracked. She folded her arms. "So you're stalking me now? Are you serious?" "I saw you with him, Liana." "You didn't see anything," she snapped. "You saw a shadow. But you weren't with your cousin." Silence. "I didn't have to be," she said finally. "I don't owe you every second of my life." "No," I whispered. "You don't. But you owed me the truth." She sighed, exasperated. "It was just a kiss, Owen. Just a mistake. He kissed me. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything." God, that line. That fucking line. It didn't mean anything. I could feel myself unraveling. And the party? The library? The texting at 2 a.m.? That didn't mean anything either. She bit her lip. "It got out of hand, okay? I didn't plan it. Did you sleep with him?" Silence. I took a step back. "Did you sleep with him?" She didn't say no. She just looked away. And that was all the answer I needed. I sat down on the edge of the bed. My knees felt weak. She just stood there in the doorway, arms crossed like she was the one betrayed. "So what now?" she asked, her tone somewhere between irritated and defensive. "You're gonna break up with me over one mistake?" "One." I looked at her. "Hollow? One mistake doesn't stretch across 3 months." She rolled her eyes. "So what? You were just waiting for me to mess up so you could play the victim?" That hit like a slap. I couldn't believe it. She was flipping it, spinning it. "You lied to me," I said, voice shaking. "Every day. Every time you kiss me after being with him. Every, I love you. Was any of that real?" Her eyes dropped for the first time. And her silence screamed louder than any answer. I laughed bitterly, standing up. "Get out." She didn't move. "Get out." Still nothing. "You don't get to break me and then stand there like I owe you something." That seemed to hit her. Her lip trembled, and for a moment, I thought maybe she felt it. Regret. Guilt. Anything. But then she said, "I didn't mean for it to go this far. He made me feel something you stopped making me feel." There it was. Not remorse. Just blame. My voice dropped. Cold. Final. "Then go feel it with him." She flinched, then turned and walked out. I didn't follow her. The door clicked shut behind her, and with it, something inside me broke in a way I didn't know was possible. The next few days were a blur. I didn't eat. Barely slept. My phone buzzed constantly, texts, missed calls, even a few voicemails. Some angry. Some pleading. Some just silent. I didn't answer a single one. But the pain? The emptiness? It sat in my chest like lead. Everywhere I went, I saw her. the cafe we loved, the bookstore she dragged me into, that spot by the river where she said, "I want forever with you." Forever. It's funny how easily some people say that word. And then one night, he messaged me. The guy. The one she cheated with. His name was Brandon. I only knew that because I'd seen his name flash across her screen once. She said he was just a guy from work. He messaged. Didn't know she was with someone. Sorry, man. I stared at it for a while. Then I replied. You did. You just didn't care. He never answered after that. Weeks passed. People started asking where she was. I didn't tell them. Not the full truth. Just, we broke up? They'd nod. Offer a week, sorry, man, and move on. But I didn't move on. I couldn't. Because she wasn't just my girlfriend. She was my future. My person. The one I trusted more than anyone. And now, she was a stranger with my secrets. She tried showing up once. Knocked on my door. Stood there crying, begging for a second chance. I closed the door in her face. And I cried after. Not because I missed her, but because I still loved her. Even after everything. Months later, I heard they broke up. Apparently, he cheated on her too. Poetic, right? But it didn't make me feel better. It didn't undo the damage. It didn't bring back who I used to be before her. Because the truth is, some betrayals don't just break your heart. They break your faith. In love. In trust. In yourself. And the hardest part? Is realizing that the person who swore they'd never hurt you did it anyway. I wish I could say I walked out of that room with some sense of pride, some shred of dignity left clinging to my bones. But I didn't. I stumbled, broken, hollowed out from the inside. I couldn't even feel the floor beneath my feet, like I was floating in some cold, detached vacuum of disbelief. Everything that had defined me, everything that made me feel secure in who I was, had been systematically dismantled by the one person I thought would never do this to me. Ava didn't come after me. She didn't call. She didn't text. She didn't even post anything remotely apologetic or subtle on social media, which, for her, said more than words could. She moved on like I was never even real to her, like the last 2 years had been some filler period between better things. Between me and what, or rather, who she truly wanted. She was with him. Publicly. Openly. As if nothing had ever happened between us. Photos started appearing, the two of them laughing at parties, her sitting on his lap in clubs we used to go to together, her wearing that necklace I gave her last Christmas like it meant nothing. I stared at my phone so long one night I thought my eyes would bleed. There she was, posting stories with captions like, "Everything makes sense now," or "Should have trusted my gut the first time." Was I the mistake she was glad she corrected? I started spiraling. Not the cinematic kind of spiral where you cut your hair, hit the gym, and come back stronger. No, this was ugly. Real. I stopped sleeping. I couldn't eat. My apartment became a graveyard of who I used to be. The bed felt foreign. The mirror showed someone I didn't recognize, hollow eyes, stubble creeping across a face that never smiled anymore. And the worst part? People started believing her version of events. She'd whispered just enough poison into mutual friends' ears. That I was possessive. That I held her back. That I never really supported her dreams. That he made her feel seen. And I saw the shift, the invitations that stopped coming, the texts that dried up. I became a ghost in the life I used to live. One night, after weeks of silence, I saw her again. It was at a small rooftop gathering, a mutual friend's birthday. I almost didn't go. I stood outside the building for 10 minutes, breathing cold air and trying to convince myself I didn't care anymore. But I walked in anyway. Maybe some pathetic part of me still hoped she'd see me and remember. Maybe I just wanted to prove I could exist in the same space without breaking. She was already there, wearing that red dress, the one she knew I loved. And he was next to her. They weren't touching, not in that moment. But everything in their body language screamed ours. Their laughter, the way they leaned into each other, the familiarity in their eyes. She hadn't moved on, she had already arrived. And I was the afterthought. Our eyes met across the room. Just for a second. She froze. Not in guilt. Not in shame. It was calculation. Like she was measuring how much power she still held over me. Then she smiled. Small. Cruel. Like she was saying, "You see now." She turned back to him and kissed him. That was it. Not the kiss. The choice. In that moment, I knew. There was never a version of this where I got closure. Because she didn't owe me that. And she knew it. She had rewritten the ending long before I realized the story was even over. I didn't stay long. Didn't make a scene. Didn't say a word. I left. And for the first time in months, I didn't feel like I was running from something. I was walking away from someone who had already let go a long time ago. I'll never understand how easily she detached, how effortlessly she turned everything we were into a footnote in her new chapter. But maybe that's the lesson. Some people don't break your heart. They show you they never really held it in the first place. I was sitting in the car, in that same parking lot where we once kissed until sunrise, listening to her voice messages. She sent them yesterday. Short. No apologies. No pain. I just want you to understand. Everything changed. You didn't do anything wrong. We just grew apart. And he just showed up at a time when I didn't know what I wanted. Every word felt like a knife. Emotionless. Effortless. Like I had been a phase. Like a haircut she no longer wore. Like an old playlist she no longer plays. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just listened. Until something inside clicked. It wasn't a breakdown. Not even catharsis. It was emptiness. Silence. Absolute silence. Because when you give someone the best of yourself and they look at it and say, "That's not what I wanted," you don't get to be someone she used to love. You become no one. And maybe, just maybe, that's her victory. She made me doubt everything that felt real. Every touch. Every "I love you." Every night she fell asleep on my chest whispering she'd never leave. Because if that had been real, she wouldn't have left like that. So easily. So casually. So indifferently. But here's what I've realized. This shame isn't mine. It's her emptiness. I loved for real. I believed. I fought. And even after all of it, I didn't become her. I didn't cheat. I didn't devalue. And that is my victory. Because one day, when her new game ends, when he sees what I didn't, when it all returns to her like cold wind, she'll remember. Not my mistakes, but how I held her in a way no one else ever will. And this time, I won't be there to reach back.